I'm Diego Cordovez.
Adam Schoenfeld.
Welcome to The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. We had Gavin Smith on last week.
I went to Jeff Schulman and I said, I don't care what it costs, damn it. I need more Gavin this week.
Let's have another. So we flew him back.
First class.
On our Scoop private
room,
plane.
food, comped.
We comped him at the Scoop Hotel.
New Orleans.
And we've got him for episode number 2. If you missed episode number 1, it's on Card Player TV. Because with a man of Gavin's depth, you can't just come in right in the middle. You need the lead up in episode 1, and here he is for episode number 2. One thing that's interesting is you've been around for a while, and just like the old cliche about Hollywood stars who became overnight successes after years of...
After 7 years of toiling through nothingness.
Yeah, of waiting tables and making commercials for car dealerships, whatever. I don't know what the full story is, but all of a sudden you started winning World Poker Tour tournaments and cashing big and making deep runs.
He would have $1 million cash every other week for a while.
10K events, and you were Player of the Year in the World Poker Tour. But you're not an 18-year-old guy who just was playing on his laptop in college. I mean, you were here in Las Vegas for a while playing.
Not so much in Las Vegas. I lived in Canada for. I toiled around for 6 years as a pro. Playing cash games, playing single table satellites, very occasionally playing tournaments because I just couldn't afford it. I played main events if I satellited in, that was it.
So was it just a matter that you got a backer and started playing the big events, or was there like a big change in terms of your play itself?
No, I mean there was a big change once I started being able to play more events, but basically I owe everything to Eric Lindgren. You know, if he didn't start backing me, I never would have got the opportunity.
And you had success right away?
Not right away, no. He started backing me at the World Series 2004. And I cashed in the main event. It was just the main event I played. I cashed the main event. Then I went and I played championship poker at the Plaza right after. We took $10,000 out of the profits. And I final tabled that. And then I did a fair bit of nothing from May of 2004 until May of 2005. I mean, I cashed 5 or 6 times maybe. You know, I cashed a little bit, but I had about 100,000 makeup. And then May 2005, lightning struck
and everything was hitting.
And then, then we went from there. I won the 2K no limit. 10 days later, I won the 10K. And
it was just like boom, boom. I remember reading a blog or some entry, a post you made, and it was, about the problem of depositing $1 million check. And that was it. He blew up.
You talked about the importance of the backing. When Bill Edler met with us, he was talking about the fact that Eric isn't a guy who does a lot of talking about poker, who sits around talking a lot about hands or strategies, but did he have an influence on you besides the backing?
Well, that all depends. I mean, Bill and Eric have a different relationship, I think, than Eric and I have as well. I think Eric and I have probably talked a little more poker than Bill and Eric have, as if Bill and I have talked a lot more poker than Bill. I probably talked more poker with than anybody. We used to room together on the road. I mean, Eric will talk poker with you when you want to talk poker but I mean, he won't jam it down your throat. I think he knows that the people he chooses to back are people he thinks are proven winners, and you don't take a proven winner and try to make them play your way because they got there somehow. So so he's there to listen and to help and to talk, much the same way as we are for him, when you want that. But more or less, you're going to go out there and you're going to drive your own car and see how you can make it.
We talked to Gus Hansen about the fact that he's been a World Poker Tour superstar and a superstar in the Aussie Millions and EPT.
With the women?
And that too.
Yeah.
But not so much in the World Series of Poker, although they're with the women. So, but in the poker sense...
I think it's universal with the women.
Yeah, with the women.
We got that locked up.
You've had huge success in the World Poker Tour. In the World Series of Poker, not as much.
No, quite a bit less. I've had a 1 second at the World Series, and that's it.
That was a polite way, but one final table.
Oh, no, I've had more than one final table.
Oh, is that
just
right?
1 second. I had, I believe I had 3 final tables the other year, but it just happened that I came like 9th in all of them.
Is it just the way that... Oh, okay.
Yeah. By the time they started the telecast, I was already out.
Right. Is that just the way the chips have fallen, or is there something different about World Series tournaments? It seems like your style would work even better in the World Series tournaments.
Well, I don't...
Not in the preliminaries.
In the preliminaries it doesn't, because I need chips. I need chips to play my way.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
So when you play with short amounts of chips, I tend to have a little bit of difficulty in those, because I don't I don't pull in my reins enough and play tight till I get that first double up. I think the early events you can do very well on as long as you do that. If you play tight until you get some chips, and then you can start splashing. I've had a lot of success in the main event at the World Series. I've played it 5 times and cashed 3, I think. So I've done reasonably well in that. I think it's more just the way that it's fallen. I don't really think
you're a big stack player, meaning that in the main event and in World Poker Tour events, you start with a lot of chips relative to the blinds, and it's a slow structure. The preliminary events at the World Series are quite different than other main events. You're a main event guy.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I haven't played that many of the preliminaries relative to others, because in the main event, what you were talking about before is a limper's paradise.
Oh, yeah.
The main event, you can limp, and it'll be 7 people limping with you the whole first day. And no one's going to be putting pressure on you. And if they do, then you're getting 50-1 odds because they've got a big pair, and if you hit, you can really make money.
The main event of the World Series is a very special tournament it's distinct in many different ways. But one of the big ones is that for years and years and years and years and years, it was one of the few 10K buy-in events that there were.
For years, it was the only one, right?
And always, people would always say, well, you don't want to go out of the main event with one pair, or with one big pair, or a lot of different. You don't want to do this in the main event because you have to wait a year to do it. Now, the fact of the matter is, nowadays it's not true, but I think people somewhere in the back of their mind it's subliminally stuck in there that, wait, this is the main event. You don't want to bust out of this one with one pair.
Well, the other thing too is if you play in some super satellite in your poker club or bar or something, and you've got everybody behind you, and you fly out here, and everyone's wondering how you do, and you come out, you don't want to be knocked out in hour 1. First of all, you've made the whole extravaganza, now you're out in 1 hour, and now you have the whole explanation. You go back, oh no, it was a good player.
Yeah, I'll just hold on to day 2 and then ante out.
Right. It's funny, but that is a lot easier, much the same as there's players out there that, I think like to take bad beats because they get to tell about it.
It's a moral victory.
That is true. People just don't want to bust out quickly because it does suck to have to tell people. It does. I mean, it sucks even when you're a professional. It sucks to have to tell people that you busted out in the first hour or day or night.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But even with a sophisticated backer, it's like you make it to day 4 and deep, and you say, hey,
well, that sounds better than telling you guys, oh yeah, your 10,000's gone.
And you might have actually made a better play. Right. You might have played better, but you're out in 5 minutes. It's like, what's with this guy?
It's kind of interesting that you say that because after the World Series, I made the drinking bet, and then I went and played the Bellagio Cup. And I got kind of deep in the Bellagio Cup. I think I busted around 40th or something like that. But on my final hand, a European guy opened for a very big raise. And I'm on the button, and I have ace-10. And I have a slightly above average stack. But I really don't think that this guy's got much of a hand, and I decide to jam on top of him. Well, now the little blind goes into thought. About 5 minutes later, he finally moves in over top of me. He finally moves in over top of me. Now the European guy folds. Right now, the European guy got all mad at me and stuff, but he had a small pair. I had ace-10, and I flopped a 10, but the other guy had 2 jacks and knocks me out of the tournament. So I'm out of the tournament, and I call Eric, and I'm like, man, I had a run. I had some chips together. I was doing all right. We have the discussion about the final hand because sometimes we do that, and this one was a kind of an interesting hand, I thought, and I'm talking to him about the hand, and I'm like, well, this is why I did what I did, and this and this and this, and Eric's like, well, I don't know, you were fine in chips, you probably didn't have to do that, it was maybe a little too rash, you maybe jumped the gun on that, you're a little too quick, whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I can sort of understand that, and so we're fine, we hang up and we agree we'll play the next tournament, and then about 45 minutes later, I got a phone call back from Eric. And he's like, I was just thinking about it. And he goes, you were right. The guy was weak, and you made a move on the guy that was weak, and that was a good play. And, you got really unlucky that the guy woke up with a hand behind you. So, I just wanted to let you know that I was thinking about it, and I kind of agree with what you were saying a little bit, too.
That's cool.
So, it was kind of like a...
As long as your background, I'd be like, you're now playing the nooner at the Orleans.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting spot that, we both... And I agree with a lot of what he said too. We both concede there was merits to both sides of the argument on that one.
So speaking of Europeans who open for big raises and don't have it, you're going to the World Series of Poker Europe today, aren't you?
I'm leaving tomorrow. Yeah.
Have you played that before?
I've never played it. No.
Looking forward to it?
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm going over. It's my uncle's 75th birthday. He lives 10 miles outside of London. So on Saturday, I'll be going to his 75th birthday party, and then I'll play day 2 on Sunday.
It'll be interesting because your small ball style will be in visible contrast to some of these Europeans with their
nuts.
big ball style,
Yeah.
to say the least. I mean, they're trying to put pressure on, and they'll make crazy bets. At least that's the traditional European.
Oh,
Maybe the new European
That's true.
with a euro.
I think probably my early strategy there is going to be to tighten up a little bit early, and once I build a stack, then I'll probably splash a little with the euros.
Let them give you some chippers if they're interested in doing that.
Yeah.
Now you're part of this crazy Venetian circus of poker that they're starting.
Circus of Poker, that's kind of what it's called. Yeah, I'm part of a show called The Real Deal. There's, I believe, 10 or 11 of us pros that are going to do it. And
I mean, you're a natural for that. When I saw the whole lineup, there's a few that they're their poker merits, but I don't necessarily see the whole
Gavin's an
entertainment
entertainer,
aspect.
right.
Gavin's an entertainer. I mean, what's your role in all this?
I don't really know yet. We haven't really got to audition. We haven't got to the dress rehearsals or anything like that. We're going to be doing that in early October once we get back from Europe. The kickoff for the show, I believe, is October 21st.
So dress rehearsals, you have a whole clown costume, or
Well, no, I'm going to dress very similar to this.
Okay.
Because this is me. But no, I'll be wearing jeans and a shirt, I'm sure. But no, we're going to have rehearsals where we have like studio audiences and stuff that we're going to bring in, some unpaid audiences to start, and then some half-price audiences, and then we'll get up to where hopefully we'll be in full gear. But it should be fun, I think. I think sort of the basis of the show is that we want to have a lot of audience interaction. We want to show them hopefully some good poker. We want to have some people be able to come up and play some great poker with us. There's going to be tons of
there's
cash
not going to be any
prizes.
great poker played with people coming up from the audience.
You never know. Who
There
says?
might be.
Maybe Adam will be a guest of the show one time.
There
We'll
you
bring him
have
up.
it.
You know?
There
I'm
might be
all
some
in.
people who don't even know the card. Right?
That is entirely possible. That's entirely possible. But that
Great
might be
poker, like all of a sudden Doyle.
that could be a lot.
is
That
playing
that
against
could be a
some
lot of
guy
the
and
fun of the show. Though,
mystified.
I mean, like I don't know. I tend to think that because it's sort of in my past that I do it. I probably would make fun of people a little bit if it doesn't go the way if sort of some weird stuff happens. And but I think that'll be part of the fun
That
of the
could be
show.
interesting, yeah.
I think that'll be part of the fun of the show. Is there should be some good bantering. There should be some good audience interaction. It should be a lot of fun.
You should be great at that.
I'm open. I'm open to do my best at it. I think we got some great people involved. I mean, Scotty Wynn's a natural for it. Daniel obviously is a natural for it. Doyle doesn't even have to be good because he's Doyle.
No, right. He's a legend.
So he can just sit there and
Doyle
everyone's
can
going to be
just be
enamored
there.
of anybody. So he's great. Eli Alezra, I think, is
Fantastic.
He's super
amazingly
engaging.
good.
He's super engaging.
He's very charismatic. I think Phil Lack is fantastic. Antonio Esfandari, I think, are great. Even Todd and Jennifer, who are probably the two that are a little less sort of outgoing.
They're lower key,
than the
but you
rest
can't
of us.
have-
But they've got some.
Right, but you
they've
need
got
the
some things that are
You
great
can't have
too.
8 huge person. Yeah, it's good to have
So,
a mix.
I mean, I think that they've sat down. They've come up with a great cast of characters for the show, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. And there's some, the Venetians put a lot of financial commitment into it.
Yes.
They're really committed to it. Merv Adelson is a big player from Hollywood who believes in the show, and he's putting a lot into it. There's a lot of big people that have put in a lot of time and effort into it. So I think, I think it's set up to hopefully be a success, and I'm looking forward to doing
I'm
it.
going to get some prizes. I'm going to be in the audience.
There you go.
Wouldn't be bad. I'm
TV,
going to get my
washer
cups.
and dryer.
There you go. We'll line you up. We'll bring you guys in for the
Like the
for
prices,
the home
right.
opener,
Yeah.
as we might say in the sporting world.
Excellent.
For our home opener.
All right. Good luck to you.
Good luck, Gavin.
The Europeans are going to be overwhelmed by the Gavin Smith
The
experience.
Canadian
We hope.
explosion.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a little cannon at Europe and see how they like it.
The English have very high respect for the Canadians, don't worry.
Yeah, all I got to make sure I do to be happy, to be good over there is to make sure I wear my Canadian flag instead of my United States.
All right.
There you go.
It's been great, and actually, congratulations on all the
Thanks.
drinking. I mean, that takes a lot of commitment, and very happy for you on that.
Thank you very
Fantastic.
much.
Thanks for coming with us.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining us on The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. Write to us at The Scoop at cardplayer.com. Ideas for guests, questions for guests, etc.
We're going to
Maybe-
ignore all of that shit.
Maybe just a thought. Maybe you want to see if Grecian Formula wants to sponsor the show.
Two bracelets. Awesome.
Well, you know, these aren't easy to win. I remember this one like it was yesterday. My opponent had me down to my last. Sorry. Anyway, it's down to my last few chips. So I had to call.
We play at FullTailPoker.com.